If you're seeing a red line on your Premiere Pro timeline, don't worry, it's usually not a problem with your project. It simply means Premiere is warning you that playback may be heavier than normal, and your system might lag while previewing that section. In this video, I'll show you exactly what the red line means, how to fix it, and how to make playback smoother in Premiere Pro 2025. And if this tutorial helps you, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Premiere Pro tips, editing fixes, and fast workflow tutorials. Let's jump in. First, let's understand the timeline colors. In Premiere Pro, a red line means the section has not been rendered and it may be too demanding for smooth playback. A yellow line means the section is partially optimized, so playback might still be okay, but it may not be fully smooth. A green line means the section is fully rendered and should play back much more smoothly. So if you're getting red lines, Premiere is basically telling you that this part of the timeline needs more processing power or a preview render. Now for the main fix, render the timeline. This is usually the easiest and most effective solution. Start by selecting the section you want to render, or if needed, you can render the entire timeline. Once your playhead is in the right place and your section is selected, simply press Enter on your keyboard. Premiere will begin rendering preview files for that section, and once it's done, you should see the red line turn green. That green line is your sign that playback should be much smoother. This is especially useful for longer edits, layered sequences, or timelines with a lot of effects. If you don't want to render the whole timeline, you can render just a specific section instead. This is great when only one part of your edit is causing issues. To do that, press I to mark the in point and O to mark the out point. This tells Premiere exactly which area you want to work on. Then go up to the sequence menu and choose Render In to Out. Premiere will only render the selected portion, which saves time and keeps your workflow more efficient. This is a really useful method if you only need smoother playback for a small section rather than the entire project. If you want to improve playback without rendering every single time, there are a few smart adjustments you can make. One of the easiest is lowering the playback resolution. In the program monitor, change the resolution from full quality to 1/2 or 1/4. This reduces the amount of work Premiere has to do while previewing the video, and it can make a big difference on slower systems. Another helpful trick is turning off heavy effects temporarily while you're editing. Effects like color grading, stabilization, and blurs can make playback much heavier than normal. If you're not checking those effects at the moment, disable them temporarily so your timeline runs faster. You can also use proxies, especially if you're working with high-resolution footage like 4K or 6K. Proxies are lower-resolution versions of your clips that are much easier for your computer to handle, and they're one of the best ways to keep editing smooth. Another important thing to check is your renderer. Sometimes red lines appear because Premiere is not using your GPU properly. To check this, go to File, then Project Settings, then General. Look for the Renderer option. Make sure it is set to GPU acceleration, such as CUDA or OpenCL, depending on your system. If it is set to software only, Premiere will rely more heavily on your CPU, and that can lead to slower playback and more red lines on the timeline. Switching to GPU acceleration can improve performance and make editing much smoother overall, especially on effects-heavy projects. You should also keep in mind that some effects naturally create more red lines than others. Common examples include Lumetri color, warp stabilizer, and blur effects. These are powerful tools, but they can be demanding, especially when stacked together or applied to long clips. If you suspect one of these effects is causing the issue, try disabling it temporarily to test playback. If the red line disappears, then you found the cause. From there, you can decide whether to render that section, reduce the effect intensity, or keep it off until the final export. So to quickly recap, if you have a red line on your Premiere Pro timeline, it usually means the section is unrendered and may lag during playback. The fastest fix is to render previews with Enter, or use in and out points and render only the section you need. If you want better performance overall, lower your playback resolution, use proxies, disable heavy effects when possible, and make sure your renderer is set to GPU acceleration. These small changes can save you a lot of time and frustration while editing. If this video helped you fix the red line in Premiere Pro, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more editing tutorials, workflow tips, and Premiere Pro troubleshooting guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.